This is a review of Survivor Season 48, Episode 9. Welcome to the party. With me, as always, Richie Becerra. And Richie, I want to start off with a prompt. I want you to describe the perfect party welcome, okay? So let's say you walk into a door and a host hands you a drink. Mm-hmm. What is the drink that makes you go, this is going to be the best party ever?
Oh, wow. I feel like champagne's kind of an easy answer. I feel like a lot of those fancy parties, you see them walking in, there's waiters, they got the champagne glasses sitting there.
Wow.
Nice little something keel to start you off with.
Now, if you walked in and Shea Real, like what kind of drink do you think he's waiting? I think it's more of a shot, probably, right?
Yeah, he's got a shot waiting. He's got a double drink of some sort, a double whiskey ginger.
Cutwater in his back pocket, literally
Cutwater,
in his
14%.
pocket. Those are the best parties. We have a full review of this great episode of Survivor. We're going to talk stock up, stock down, which Survivor's Castaway stock is up, which Castaway stock is down. We'll do a little press conference. If we could ask Jeff or a Castaway a question immediately following the episode, what would it be? We're going to rename the episode even. Welcome to the party. Pretty decent name. And then, we're going to talk about who goes home next week. Neither of us were correct this week. We were close. I would say both of us were close in that you were kind of going for Mary, thinking that it could be David. And I said Mitch, and Mitch got some votes. So definitely an interesting episode. We finally get a little bit of gameplay, not a straightforward vote, which is excellent. But let's get right into it. This episode, last week we skipped the back from Tribal because not a lot happened. But this week there was a really great moment that I loved because we get back from Tribal and Chrissy, of course, goes home. And, David is kind of doing cleanup. Not a very great job of it.
No.
We've talked a lot about there are people who do a great job of cleanup. David did not. And he goes to Kamilla and says, hey, Kamilla, just a heads up. I did float your name out there, but it's not a big deal. And Kamilla says, you're a horrible liar. It's okay. Wow.
Her, bro.
I love Kamilla. I love that. That's my pick. That's my horse. We said it last episode about kind of David going a little crazy. This episode is kind of all about David, not making great choices along the way. And it kind of started right here, at least in the episode. I don't know. Was there anything else David could have done here?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I think it's tough. I think he could have maybe apologized or just taken full ownership and say, hey, I messed up. That's on me. But I think he kind of tried to, half go in, half go out, and it didn't work.
Yeah. And, I mean, David's, intensity carried on into the morning where it specifically between Kyle and David kind of brings this hey, we're all sitting around, the sun is coming up. It seems like this kind of awesome moment. Really, we've seen this moment play out a bunch of times, and there's not always gameplay happening. And David is trying to come off as chill, what are you guys feeling? I'm cool with whatever. I might sit out of this vote. And that quickly turns around to, all right, so it's Kamilla, right? We're all good with Kamilla after everyone else kind of chimes in. Yeah. And Kyle takes note of that. Kyle is clearly absorbing all this intensity. He ends up going off with Shaheen, and David's losing it. David's like, have you seen those guys? Where'd they go? What's going on? Where'd those guys go? And yeah, it's just wild that this guy is just holding on to this thing, but it's a little bit like Chrissy. Or maybe not. And I don't know. Do you think that David almost manifested this thing? Because Kyle and Shaheen weren't anti-David, but I think David might have made them anti-David.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they go off and they're kind of floating the idea of getting Mary out at the very beginning of the episode. And I think that makes sense because if you still want that alliance to work to some degree, that's the perfect person to get out because then he's lost with nobody. He's for sure going to stick with the alliance. But I think he just kind of went crazy and maybe the no food for a guy who's used to eating a lot, didn't have his milk. I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, Kyle ends up confronting, David, trying to kind of save the relationship because really that 6 and I mean, with Mary is very strong. And at this point, I heard them talk about in the podcast a lot. Old Survivor, this would have been a pick-off
Oh
situation
yeah.
until they get down to 6, and then they would have turned on each other.
Hmm.
And actually, I think and Eva was right on the money with it a couple times too, if we just stay cool and stay chill and everyone just trusts each other, we can make that happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just feel like David was stepping on his own toes way too much. And I think Kyle took great advantage of it. Shaheen took great advantage of it. I mean, that's a great way to get someone out who is a challenge threat.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know.
Do you think that having less days now kind of makes these people want to play the game quicker and not take these alliances to the end?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I just think it's all these people. And David's right, not a a fan, right? Like he's the one that
Yeah.
didn't know very much about like
Hmm.
what do you do? What do you do? I would just think it's new era. I mean, it does seem like, and I heard Jeff say this too. Maybe it was last week on the podcast that like with those longer seasons, people had more
Hmm.
time to change their mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are more snap decisions. Shaheen again brought up the fact that he wants to paint this flag. It's like, dude, this is Survivor. It's not about painting flags anymore. I know that's a cool moment as a fan, but
Yeah.
you got to get your head in the game. I just think it's the intensity of like, man, everyone is out here to kind of make a move, build resumes. And we haven't really seen that from this cast yet because it's been a strong, tight alliance. But yeah, I don't know. It's
I think
tough
it'd be
to say.
super funny if he goes home in like the next episode or two, and then they paint the flag the next episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's supposed to be like the merge tribe, and I
Yeah.
feel like I saw the tribe name, and I'm like, I don't think I've heard them say the tribe name because usually that happens too, where Jeff's like, "What name did you come up with?" and then they
Hmm.
say it. We heard that it's Fijian for milk or something like that,
Yeah.
which makes sense. I guess milk tribe. Another great thing we see in this episode is Eva gets to sneak out. We saw her get the advantage last episode. We see her wait for everyone to fall asleep. She says all the conversations die down, which I thought was interesting that like we never see that of like, oh,
Hmm.
what's it like when they all go to bed?
Yeah.
But she said the conversations died out. She decided to get up. And man, were you a little afraid of Slender Man Shaheen back there? Like in the shadows, man.
Yeah, man.
Scary. Shaheen pops up, notices that Eva is up and moving, which I'm like, "Oh, do
How do you
people
even
get
know
up
it's
and go to
her?
well, how do you know it's her? And do people get up to go to the bathroom? Like, I would kind of think that maybe that's a thing that happens unless they all agree, like,
Yeah.
hey, no one's getting up.
I also feel like, I mean, there's no shot that each person is sleeping through the night every single night. Like, there's no way you're getting a good night's sleep every night.
Right. But, like, I also imagine that, like, oh, I hear Joe get up to go pee. Or, like, is it, oh, no, he's going to pee where we can hear him and it's okay.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just assumed, like, yo, bathrooms, you kind of don't ask questions. But
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that's a good press conference question of like, well, why is that such a big deal? But Shaheen sees Eva take off. He decides to not follow, which, yeah, I don't know. Maybe good, maybe bad.
Hmm.
He seemed to, in his confessional, put it all together that, oh, when you go on those rewards, you get clues. And when you get those clues,
Hmm.
usually they get an advantage. I thought that was a bit of a stretch. Part of me was like, oh, man, did he like search her bag without her looking? Like, I don't know. That was way too spot on for me that he was like totally right about it. I don't know if that would have fully put those dots together that
Hmm.
like it went beat, beat, beat. But he lets Joe know. Joe takes it really easy. He's just like, look, I trust
Yeah.
Eva. I'm not too worried about it. Joe also sleeping, arms crossed, legs crossed, like
Like a
but like
vampire,
I'm
bro.
sure. Yeah, I'm
Hey.
sure as like a fireman, like he can probably knock out pretty easily. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We see Eva go to this little mini journey at night. Really cool moment where they go night vision into the light, which is cool. And yeah, Eva kind of gets this game of chance. Immediately, you get an extra vote, or you can walk away with the extra vote, or you can risk it. And I saw someone laugh about this, but it said you have an opportunity to get power in the game with safety without power. So it's like you get
Hmm.
power, but there's no power. Interesting. Gets this opportunity 50-50. Do you like this? Do you think an extra vote's enough if you already have an idol?
So if I'm her, honestly, I don't think I would have kept playing. I think
Hmm.
an extra vote is maybe almost as powerful, if not more powerful, than safety without power, depending on where you're at or where you feel like you're at. I think she's in a really good spot in the game, and she has an idol. I mean, I think I personally would have stuck with just the extra vote, but she chooses not to.
Yep. Chooses not to,
Hmm.
goes for the 50-50 chance, gets it, gets
Hmm.
the safety without power, doesn't end up losing the extra vote. Which, I mean, I think I said it. Rachel had safety without power last season, and I'm just like, dude, that's an immunity idol. Like, that's just, dude, you get to leave. You get to survive a night. It's like wearing
Hmm.
a necklace or whatever, just you don't vote, which is,
Yeah.
I don't know, not a terrible thing. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's almost as strong as an immunity idol, which
Mm.
that was the next
Fair.
layer. Was a 1 in 3 chance of getting an idol, which takes you to 5. I think it said that the safety without power is good till 6.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so just that little bit. I don't think I would have gone that extra layer. A part of me was like, I thought about, and I tweeted at Gabe, but like, I don't know, a part of you, and I feel like I might be subject to this, where if I'm in that moment and I'm playing, I feel like I would be thinking, oh man, I'm on Survivor right now. Like, would that get to you that you're like, dude, I'm playing Survivor. I should be
Maybe,
risking it.
yeah, honestly.
Right? Like you're feeling the adrenaline of like, holy
Hmm.
crap, this is it. This is my once in a lifetime. Jeff always says, play like it's your second. Go for it. I do think she makes the right decision. She just keeps her
Yeah,
safety
for
without
sure.
power. She leaves, and right away she comes clean to Eva, or Eva
Hmm.
comes clean to Joe, Kyle, and Shaheen. Great move here, would you
Oh,
say?
smart for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, just
I think
let them
especially,
know.
yeah, especially because it was nighttime. Maybe she had some inkling of an idea that somebody might have caught her. Maybe she heard people moving around when she got back. So she was like, oh, shoot, maybe I should just tell them just in case it was one of them.
Yeah. Because, yeah, she might have been gone for 30
Hmm.
minutes. Who knows?
Yeah.
And, yeah, big deal. Also, it's interesting who she tells. Like, there's no Joe, or
Hmm.
there's no David, and there's no Mary around, who's
Hmm.
kind of been that group. But lets her alliances know. And then we get a crazy confrontational moment between David and Joe where, oh, wow, these close ups on Joe were just money. Because dude took it personal when
Hmm.
David called him out and said, like, you went against your word. And just another one of these moments where you're like, oh, David, like, dude, you're just like, that's probably the worst possible thing he could have said
Hmm.
to Joe, right? And Joe is this like traditional like man's man, like you're only as good as your word, like which is just wonderful how the episode ends up playing out because even right at the end he was like wow, he's like Survivor, here we go. He was just baffled by the fact that he was called out for it. Did you make anything else from this moment? Eva also sitting there right in the middle of it all.
I just kind of thought it was weird. I mean, they seem to be kind of the two leading that tribe and
Yeah.
kind of brought everyone together. Seems weird that you would go to the head president and try to cut him off. It's not how
Yeah.
you overthrow somebody.
And Joe called it out a little later that like, yo, David was trying to manipulate me. Like David was trying
Hmm.
to. He knew that that's something that matters to me, and so he was kind of poking. And Joe didn't like that. I love that that's a thing. We get another great scene where Star tries to swim a little bit. Hilarious. I wish we got a little
She's
more of
awesome,
it.
man. We need
Uh,
more of her.
we need more Star. This felt a little bit like a deleted scene that
Yeah.
like I wanted to be a little longer, but instead we get a story where Kyle kind of comes clean to Joe about his arrest. I don't know, man. What do you think of this moment? It made me laugh at America a little bit. Just that this
Yeah.
kid got thrown in jail for a week, and I didn't feel that. I just felt like he was a stupid kid. I didn't feel like he was a troubled
100%.
kid,
Yeah.
right? I
Like
didn't.
nothing was like bad. There was no sad story. It was something that probably 90% of America has done. He just got caught for it. And
And
we don't have the whole story. Maybe he was being stupid too. Maybe he
yeah.
deserved what he got.
Yeah, no, I kept waiting for it to like get crazier. Like he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
like I had possession charges and then I stabbed someone, or like, then I was
Yeah.
put in a mental hospital, something crazy. But yeah, it
No,
was
20
just,
people with possession. They got possession charges.
yeah, he went to jail for 7 days and he was still able to take his finals and he still passed. All this, like, I don't know, it
That
was a
man wasn't even
little
in jail, bro.
like,
Man
I
was in
mean,
a hold-up center.
as far as like, sappy stories from Survivor, like this one was I don't know, it just didn't hit. I was a little bit like, can we go back to
Yeah.
Star swimming a little bit? Like I think I think that was a little more interesting because I mean Mitch was gaining fan favorite points if you ask me. Doing his thing, helping out. Hey, I gotta pick where I can. But yeah, I do think that moment is big though for Kyle and Joe.
Hmm.
I mean, this whole episode was, and then we get to the immunity challenge. Immunity challenge, not my favorite.
Yeah.
But they are playing for a reward for ham and cheese wraps, peach cobbler, and chocolate covered strawberries. How do you feel about food reward here? I mean, obviously any substance will do.
Honestly, probably not a very bad one at all. You're going to get some protein, you're going to get some good food, and it's not super greasy. It's not going to hold you down very much. Even the dessert, like there's some strawberry in there. So
Yeah,
I honestly didn't mind. I think that was a really good reward, personally.
yeah, yeah. It's a good reward. The challenge was this, yeah, kind of clamp like contraption.
Hmm.
Doctor Rich, tell us which muscles would be essential for this one. And I mean, honestly, the beefcakes were the last three standing,
Yeah.
and they were all looking ripped.
Yeah.
What are the
Biceps,
muscles here? Biceps,
anterior delts.
interior delts.
Yeah.
How long?
Those
I
are
mean,
probably,
how long do you think you could last in this one?
I don't know. Like, I think it'd be a lot of, like, because like Jeff said, you don't want to overexert yourself and go all
Yeah,
out at the beginning. It'd be kind of hard to find that groove, and I think if you miss that groove pattern, you could be out super quick within like a minute. But I think if you
yeah,
figure out where to go, I think I could probably last like 5 to 10. I don't think I'm going above 10.
yeah. It's also one of those where it's not about body weight. It doesn't seem like everyone's
Mm-hmm.
contraptions seem to be just as clanky and heavy
Mm-hmm.
and odd, and like the ball just rolling down. Pretty crazy challenge, though. It does come down to Joe, Kyle, and David. Kyle falls out. Joe nearly falls out, hanging on by a thread, almost falls off. And it does this great thing where, and I've been told, and someone pointed this out to me, and it's not 100% great
Mm-hmm.
theory, but like every time it shows you someone shaky, it'll always
Oh
cut to
yeah.
the next person and
Mm-hmm.
they're out. And
Yeah.
wow, what a stumble by David. Right there, like I think all of us were Shaheen in this moment, hopping up,
Oh
being like,
yeah.
"Huh, oh,
100%.
oh," like that was a crazy backdoor cover,
Mm-hmm.
as we've seen time and time again. Where I mean, like David had all the confidence in the world. He was rock solid the whole time, even
Mm-hmm.
saying to Joe, like, "Don't worry, Joe, I'm gonna take you with." And oh man, just like it's like, is there confidence in every like freaking like immunity challenge to where like that ends up biting you in the butt? I don't know,
Yeah.
but that happened to David here, and clearly took it hard. Wow, like
Mm-hmm.
very nonverbal
Mm-hmm.
in his frustrations. Joe ends up picking Mitch right away, which makes sense because Mitch has not gotten to eat
Yeah.
yet. Great human move from Joe, and
Mm-hmm.
then ends up picking Shaheen and Eva. I wasn't surprised by those other two picks. I really wasn't surprised by
Yeah.
Mitch either. And this wasn't one. This wasn't like a dramatic Applebee's, who you pick type reward. I think we're probably still a couple episodes away from that because even Camilla's face looked like, yeah, he's not picking me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Star looked like she needed to eat too. I mean, she looked
yeah.
a little like defeated when he didn't pick her. But
Well, dude, we don't get to see them. Are they fishing? Are they eating? Are they? Because
yeah.
also, if this game is moving super fast, like, are they chilling very much? Even Joe said that whenever Star was fishing, he's like, man, it's nice to just chill
Hmm.
because it seems like they're just all gas, no brakes in New Era. Once the immunity challenge wraps, it turns into a bit of scrambling. They all go back to camp, but then
Hmm.
they separate there. David's pretty beat up. Mary is there confronting David. Kyle sees that and kind of jumps all over it. And the plan quickly turns to David or Mitch. David, for some reason, I guess he heard from Camilla, and his reasoning is Shaheen has an idol, I think, and he's going to play it on Camilla. When Camilla's the one that told David that maybe Shaheen has something. So
Yeah.
David not only has stumbled this whole episode, but is so far off in his prediction of what's going on and is so out of touch.
Hmm.
And if he would have just kept his mouth shut and been the nice David that he was the first 6 episodes, that like David seemed like a saint and a great guy and like a chill person and down for whatever, he might
Hmm.
still be in this game. But
Yeah.
immediately jumping and leaning into paranoia. Mary said that take a shot for every time you hear paranoia in this episode because it's
Oh
said
my
so
gosh,
much.
dude. Seriously.
Said so much. And then what do you make of Shaheen saying that he's been preparing for this David vote? And then they show kind of a super cut of
That was
Shaheen like
awesome.
planting seeds. So you think that's legit?
Oh yeah, I mean, they showed they got the receipts. They showed the receipts of him planting the seed. I think that's super cool. I love when Survivor does that and they don't show us things and then show us later on. I always think back to like Amanda when she in Fans vs
Oh yeah.
Favorites when they didn't show whether she found the idol or not, and you got to wait till tribal council to see if she found it.
She's whipping it
I
around. Yeah.
got
Oh,
it.
shout out Amanda Kimmel. Big fans. This is a Amanda Kimmel fan account for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of agree. Rachel was talking about on the podcast a bit that like what's hard about this is like by saying you were planting seeds, it's a hard game plan to if Shaheen was in final tribal, this would be a hard one to argue that like, oh well, I was planting seeds the whole time. It's like, well, we didn't really see that. I guess you can kind of point to it. They show it really
Oh,
well. But like I kind of felt that way too, that I'm like, oh, why are we just now hearing about this? But maybe it is like what you're saying, that they're just trying to fill in the gaps of like, look, this is why
yeah,
they're butting
because
heads.
in my eyes, I think that's perfect for him come final travel time. Like he has the receipts to say, like, I had a conversation with you about getting David out 4 days
Yeah.
before. I had a conversation with you 3 days before, and those people, whether they want to vouch for him or not, could vouch for him.
Yeah.
So
Another great moment in the scrambling was Star, like right at the beginning, walking up to Mary and David, being like, "Guys, let's get Shaheen out tonight." And they're like, no, sorry." And Star was like, "All right, well, what are we doing then?" Like it was, excellent. Star might be,
her time's coming to do something big. I feel it.
yeah. Star is one of the leaders in the clubhouse for fan favorites. I would
Hmm.
say. I mean.
Yeah.
Would love to see a good move or two out of Star, but as far as just on-screen entertainment, one of the best. But yeah, Mitch being the target and David being the target, it's kind of a slow burn into everyone really being convinced that, like, look, David's just he's changed a lot, and even like Joe said in the last 36 hours something's changed, and the show did a great job of showing that his like
Hmm.
deterioration was so fast, and he even had a food reward in that little
Yeah.
bit, and like he's still just not with it and totally paranoid. We get to tribal, and yeah, it's a lot of talk about trust and whatnot. Camilla continues to be just straight up blunt and honest, talking about like jury management and whatnot, and saying, look, if you put me on the jury, like you're not going to be getting my vote. And it makes Star laugh, and Star gets another great moment.
I think that was the best moment of the episode, honestly.
So funny. And then we kind of get this moment of David knocking on wood too, and it was just like, oh man, like you're in trouble. And it felt like right here, like, oh man, this is pretty clearly going to be David, and he's got
Hmm.
no idea that it's coming. Anything else from Tribal, I guess, before the votes came out?
Yeah, no, I think that was all I had.
No, yeah. So votes come in. Star, Mary, and David all went for Mitch, but then the rest went for David, and he just kind of glares around. It cuts to Joe staring daggers at David. Again, it's a little bit like when he lost the immunity challenge, but he's just so clearly so angry. He holds it in, gets his torch, and heads out. And just like that, David, third member of the jury. Got any final words for David? Any
Well, my question actually was for David, and I would want to know if he ever even thought about playing his shot in the dark, or if he really was like truly blindsided. Because I mean, I feel like you don't knock on the wood if you don't have some sort of doubt in the back of your mind that it could be you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he must have just thought everything was just so rock solid that like, oh
Hmm.
look, we're the group of honor and integrity. Joe said he won't go back on his word. Like I'm in a really great spot.
Yeah.
Even just kind of pompous, and I get why certain people don't like him online. Um, and yeah, I mean he was an interesting player.
Hmm.
He was I mean it's just these small moments of like, dude, you just blew it this episode.
I
Um,
mean, all his thinking and thought process was 100% the right move.
yeah, no,
His
no,
outward display was the wrong move.
yeah, no. I mean, in a just like Chrissy, he was right.
Mm-hmm. 100%, yeah.
He is right about like everything and how it goes, and
Mm-hmm.
it's smart on everyone else to be like, oh, maybe he's catching on to us. Like Kyle being so protective of Camilla is working so well in
Mm-hmm.
his
Oh, yeah.
advantage. I did see that David's girlfriend did break up with him
Yeah, I
because
saw
he came back
that.
without the mill. He lives in
I wonder if
Ohio.
it's because he didn't come back with it, or if it's because he like made her out to be this awful person that's going to leave him if he doesn't win $1 million.
I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe column A, column B, but like he got back last summer. So I mean, if they
Yeah,
broke up last
true.
summer,
Yeah,
that could be something. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know where David stands in the reality universe. I don't know. I don't think he comes back.
I've
But
never
yeah,
seen The Challenge or anything, but I feel like he'd be good on that type of show.
yeah. I didn't mind. I didn't mind watching David. I thought he was a
Hmm.
good character in his role. My Survivor press conference. We'll go to Survivor press conference now. If you could ask Jeff or Castaway any question following the episode, what would it be? Yeah, mine was for David as well. And I just want to know, dude, how hard was it to watch this episode? I know,
Mm.
of course, I was there last year or last fall, watching this one Survivor Castaway watch himself get voted out. And I don't know, like for David, just seeing how many times he stumbled in this episode and if he would have just stayed cool, I don't know. This must have been so painful to watch. Because, I mean, he probably is like, dang, I really messed up. Now that he was clear headed and whatnot, I got to know how hard it was for him to watch. Yeah, then I got another one for Jeff. And what I want to know is, Jeff, for a situation for Eva, because I was feeling like I wanted this, is I don't know how they could do it, but
Hmm.
so when a castaway says I'm not gonna play or I'm not gonna pick a pot or I'm not gonna whatever,
Hmm.
can you let them then pick and then we see if they would have been right? I want to know. Like I want to
Yeah,
know. I want
I feel
Eva to
like
be
they've done
like,
that before, like with things in the past, like a
yeah,
long
like
time ago.
yeah. I want Eva to go. I'm not going to go forward, but I would
Hmm.
have picked that one. And even let Eva walk away and then like somehow reveal if she was right or
Yeah,
wrong. You don't have to show
that'd be
her. I'm
fun.
cool with that, but show the audience.
Hmm.
Cuz I'm curious if her risk reward would have paid off and then if she's watching at home, she can go, "Oh, dang it. I could have kept going for it."
Yeah.
Just a little moment that I think could be interesting. But also just the mystery might be better. All right, let's go to stock up, stock down. Who do you got for stock up after episode 9?
Stock up, I went with Shaheen. I think he has a really good episode here. Um, he has his name floated around a little bit last episode, a little bit of this one as well, but I think he's getting in good with the right people at the right time. It seems
Yeah.
like that alliance of him, Joe, and Eva seems extremely strong. We'll see if anything happens next episode, but I think right now his stock's going up a little bit.
Nice. I'm going with Mitch. I'm going with Mitch for stock up
Ooh,
because got food. I think food's a big deal. I think because I think Mitch is now in a better position to win a challenge, maybe in this next episode.
mm-hmm.
Mitch got votes thrown at him, but survived. And yeah, I feel like Mitch and Joe have a connection to where if it's because right now obviously it's 4-4 now. If Mary
Yeah,
decides to not go with the Shaheen,
mm-hmm.
Joe, Eva grouping and Kyle, and I don't know, I just feel like Mitch is in a better spot than he was last episode,
Yeah,
and with a big guy going down, I just don't see Mitch being that next person to go, and so the stock's up, but also his stock was low before, so maybe it's just he made the
do
biggest
you
jump.
think it's 4-4, or would it be 5-3 with Kyle obviously going to go where Camilla goes
Well, yeah, yeah, so it could be 5-3 in either direction.
in
I
either
mean,
direction? Correct.
in,
Yeah.
in either direction, whatever way they choose.
Hmm.
But I don't see. I see Mitch in a much better place than he was at the beginning of this
Fair, for
episode.
sure. I get that now.
So stocks up, not in the best place. Got a lot of work to do, but
Hmm.
stocks up. Who do you got for stock down?
Stock down, I went with Mary. Lost her number one ally. Doesn't seem
Same.
to have strong relationships with anyone else. I mean, it's going to be tough for her to go anywhere other than flip to that other side and hope that they can bring Kyle in.
Yeah, yeah. That's my pick as well. Losing David
Hmm.
now in free agent territory, not necessarily the next target. I
Yeah.
don't know that I'm picking Mary to go home next, but stock's got to be down. I mean, just being blindsided and all, feeling like you're in control. And yeah, like I mean, Mary has not Yeah, Mary's had a pretty tough go of it with tribals and whatnot, but Stockstown for sure. All right, let's rename the episode. A pretty good one. Welcome to the Party by Shaheen.
Hmm.
What do you got?
I went with "Don't Drop the Ball." Little play on the
Nice.
challenge. Yeah,
Nice.
David
And
dropped the
David
ball.
dropped the ball at least 3 or 4 times in the episode.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I like that one. I went with just here we go. Right after Jeff said, or not Jeff, Joe was like, man, Survivor, here we go. Because at that moment it felt like, Joe's got to start playing, man. It can't always be honesty and integrity. And because him and David were so close, and I bet him and David are buddies now. But yeah, here we go. Because the game is starting to change.
When you do a little thumbnail or whatever with that, you gotta do the little Mario. Here we go.
Here we go. Okay. All right. So who do we got for who goes home next week? Episode 10.
So I had somebody else written down, but
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Shaheen.
Ooh. Okay. So Shaheen
Yeah,
was my second choice. So I
he
like it.
was. I mean, I picked him as stock up, but I think I'm hoping that this like weaker alliance or whatever kind of bands together. They bring Kyle in. They use Mitch's extra vote, and I don't think they'll go for Joe or Eva because they know Eva has an idol, and I think Kyle could tell them she has the say tooth out power, so they might not go for them too. They'll go for Shaheen.
Yeah. So yeah, I had Shaheen, but I did go. So I like that. I like that if the underdogs band together, they'll take
Hmm.
out Shaheen. I would agree
Yeah.
with that. But if the underdogs do not band together, then I think Star goes home. I think
Ooh.
Star is the
Okay.
one that catches a stray. Maybe it's Mary. It could be Mary in that, like, oh, Mary's probably pissed at us for
Hmm.
getting out David. Let's just get Mary out next. I could see that. But I'm going to go
See,
with Star.
I originally
But
had
also,
Mitch written down just because he has that extra vote.
yeah. But I mean, Star honestly too. You know what? I am gonna go with Mary because
Oh.
I think with Star you have someone who you'd like to sit with at the end. I do
Hmm.
think Star is getting to that territory, especially with Star getting out of these challenges so dang early and being on the wrong side of votes too often. Hilarious player, but not super dangerous, and might be like if Joe and Eva and all them are trying to pick someone, you don't want to send Star home. Star is not
Yeah.
going to beat you in challenges. So I just talked myself out of Star, and I'm going with Mary.
Okay.
Go with Mary. Mary goes home next week, but I like Shaheen too. I think that's a great choice. I respect it. All right, that's episode 9 of Survivor season 48. If you like our picks, if you agree, comment below, leave a like, and Richie. Will the Oklahoma City Thunder, will they be just on full rest after Saturday night?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
4-0, sweep. Get your brooms ready.
It's Thursday as we film this. Did you
Yeah.
see that tickets in Memphis were as low as $2?
Yeah.
Dude? That could have been an easy trip and like probably low cost just to go out there and see them.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I am hoping that the Clippers pull it out against the Nuggets because it's about time for you to come back and visit, bro. Come to the Intuit Dome. I mean, come on.
Cause a man into a dome. Both.
Hey, man. Hey, we'll run it. All right. We'll see you next time. Richie, thanks
See
again
ya.
for joining.